Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to contour and highlight and blush and basically just get the full effect with your face and get it how you want it to look. So if you want to learn how to do those things, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I'm starting off with my eyes and my foundation done just because that's not really a part of this whole process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to highlight, which not the sparkly kind, the highlight where you highlight your face, make it lighter in areas, and contour and blush, and then also highlight the sparkly kind. So let's just get started with that. So for highlighting, you want to use a concealer that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation. Unless you don't want your concealer to be too light, then maybe do 1 shade lighter or maybe half a shade lighter, whatever you want. So I have 2 shades here. I have fair neutral and I also have light. And I use light on a day-to-day basis because it's just a little bit lighter than my foundation. I don't like it to be too light, but I'll show you fair neutral on one side of my face in case you guys want 2 shades lighter or however many shades lighter you want. So this side is going to be light. And my right side is going to be fair neutral. So I don't know if you guys can see on camera the difference. This one's a lot lighter than this one. So I'm going to do this side all fair neutral. And this side all light. I'm not one of those people that highlights down the bridge of my nose. If you want to do that, you can. It does even out your face. I just don't like to draw attention to my nose because I don't like my nose. So we're going to start blending out our concealer, but I'm going to do my chin, my cupid's bow, and my forehead first because I want my under eye concealer to dry as much as possible before I start blending so that it has more coverage. So I'm going to blend it out with my beauty sponge, the same one I used for my foundation. This also helps if your foundation is a little bit too dark for you because then the bottom of your face has a little bit of light to it and it does make your foundation look like it matches better. Now I'm going to use the same sponge to blend out my under eye concealer, but I'm also going to use this tiny sponge just to get into the little corners. I go down the side of my nose to make my nose look smaller. It's sort of a contouring effect. Okay, now before that creases, I'm just going to set it all with translucent powder. I do set my whole face. I set underneath your eyes and all the other spots you put concealer. I pat it in with the end of my baby beauty blender just to make sure it's really pressed in there. And I also use that same technique with my smile lines because I tend to crease a lot there throughout the day. Okay, now to set my face, I'm just going to go in with a fluffier brush and I'm going to do the same thing with translucent powder. And it really helps to set your face because when you're going into contour, it makes it all a smooth base because if you don't set it, you're going to be sticky and your contour is going to come out really muddy looking and you don't want that. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna go in with Hoola by Benefit to contour. And to contour, I like to do a straight line from the top of my ear down towards the corner of my mouth, but I stop at the corner of my eye because you don't want it to go too far. So I'm gonna use a Morphe 523 brush. I think it's a really good brush because the bristles are taller in the middle and they're shorter on the outside, so it gives you a nice precise line while still blending it out. Okay, now once you do your cheekbones, you can do your forehead. I have a really small forehead, so I don't need to do my forehead, but if you have a bigger forehead or if you just feel like it's not balanced, then you can always do your forehead. And you would just do the perimeters, kind of going into your hairline so that it doesn't look too harsh, and make sure you blend it in with your concealer. Now, depending on your skin tone, you can use more of an orange toned bronzer. They say you're supposed to contour with gray tones, but gray tones don't work for everyone's skin tone. Gray tones can make you look ashy or muddy. So it kind of depends on your skin tone. Gray tones work really well for me, but Hoola by Benefit also is a pretty good undertone. It's between orange and gray. It's not leaning towards either side, which is really perfect for me. So it works really well on a lot of different skin tones, but some people need a more orangey undertone and some people need a more gray undertone. So whichever undertone works for you is perfectly fine. I also like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, the light to medium. They have some really great contour shades in there. They're more gray tone. The middle, I'll show you. This middle shade right here works really well for me. It's called Fawn. It's more of a gray undertone than Hoola, but it's not too gray that it'll make you look ashy, so it's really perfect. So now when you're done with that, you can take your translucent powder again and a sponge. I'm using the Cake Bake sponge, and I'm going to dip it in my translucent powder, and I'm going to carve out my contour just so that it's as sharp as I want it. And you can leave it sit on there for as long as you want. You can take it right off, or you can leave it for a while. I like to leave mine on for a while so that it gets a chance to really set in there and make a difference. So now I'm going to move on to blush while that sits, and I'm going to use the Too Faced Love Flush Blush in the shade Baby Love. This is my favorite one. And I like to use the Morphe E4, which isn't really a blush brush, it's a contour brush, but I think it works really great. And I don't like to swipe my blush across because I like my blush to be pretty toned down. So I like to pat it. I smile and I pat. And that just gives me a really nice flush of color. It's not too much. It just looks like a pretty rosy kind of pink. Okay, now that I did that, I'm going to wipe off the translucent powder. I think it's been there long enough. And you see how it creates more of a sharper line? So it does look more like I have a hollow in my cheeks right there. That's the look you want to go for. You're trying to reshape your cheekbones. You also can do more of a rounded out contour if you want it to make you look like you have a more plump kind of cheekbone, but I like to do this to hollow them out. Now for the sparkly highlight, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit. I love it. So I'm going to take, mine's really dirty, I'm really sorry. I'm going to take Kitty Cat right here. It's the pink shade. And I'm going to take that on my Morphe M510. And then I'm going to spritz my brush with some Fix Plus. And now I'm going to go and hit the high points of my cheek. A lot of people go around their temple and up here. I can't do that because I have a really small forehead, so I can't do that. But if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine too. And then I'm also going to hit all the other high points in my face. So I'm going to hit right here above the brows. And then I'm going to switch brushes. And I'm going to go in with my Morphe E18. It's just a really small brush. And I'm going to take the same highlight and I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose and do the little dot. And I'm going to hit my Cupid's bow and my chin. You don't have to do your chin. If you're oily, then don't do your chin. But if you're more dry like I am, then it's nice to do your chin because then you just look more fresh and dewy. So that's all the high points on my face. So now I'm just going to spritz my face with some setting spray. Alright, that completes this tutorial, so thank you guys so much for watching. Like and comment and subscribe. I hope you learned something from this, so thank you.